In this video, I'm going to show you how to bring an image into the Rhino file, and we'll be setting up some views from there. So I'm in my most recent version. I've got the layers open here. First thing I'm going to do is change my layer to the mural layer. I'm going to put the image on this greenish wall. The command that you'll use for this is picture. So command line, type in picture, and then you can browse to find the image that you want to use. So I'm going to open, and for my first point, I'm going to try to pick the lower corner here of this wall, which is a little tricky because it's kind of behind some stuff, but there's my first point. Now, as you can see, it's going to try to like set it horizontally. So what we'll need to do is change it to a vertical orientation. So I'm going to go back to picture and choose my image. And this time I'm going to click on vertical so that it places this image in a vertical orientation. And I'm going to pick two corners of that plane. Okay, so there it is. And as you can see, it's much larger than if I maintain the width proportions. It's much larger than the plane that I had planned to put it on. So you have a couple of options. I'm going to show you one way to do this. One would be to click on the image and scale it down to the proper size. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to make the perspective view the full window just so it's a little easier to see things. And I'm also going to turn off the bench and the column. Okay, now click on the image, type in scale, choose a base point. My base point is going to be the lower left-hand corner, and it's going to ask for the first reference point. My first reference point is going to be the upper corner here, and my second one is going to be right here. Okay, so I'm just basically maintaining the same proportions. You don't want to stretch its width or its height. You want to maintain whatever the proportions of the image are, and use the scale command. Now, in this case, I have a wall that's a little bit wider than I need. So what I'm going to do is eliminate the wall and create a new one. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to delete it. And now what I'm going to do is go to the layout, the viewport layouts, and go back to my 4-view layout. Okay. All right. My image is, as you can see right here. So what I'm going to need to do is create a new box to serve as the surface for this image. So I'll spin around to the back. And I'm also going to take a dimension, let's see, distance here, from here to here, 14.97 feet. I will round this to 15. And I'm going to make a box. Okay. I think it may be easier if I create some construction lines first. So let's bring in one here, and let's offset 12 inches. Distance 12 inches. I think it already had that, and that there. And then I'll do another one like this, and I will offset. I can go directly here, but I can make a copy of it from here to here. So I can do that 14.97. Right now, I'll make my box. Starting from this point, going to this point. And for the height, I know that the height of this particular plane is 19 feet. So I'm going to kind of pan up here, 19 feet, and enter. So now I have a wall panel that's the proportions of the image. Now, the other way to do this would be to just simply float the image on the mural panel as it had been. So what I'll do is I'll just make a second wall over here, and just to illustrate how you might get this going, I'll make another box here. we'll say it's definitely going to be longer or wider than the image. And I will also give it that 19-foot height. I'll put the picture in here. Oops, picture, select it, open, and this time, oops, I remember to tell it to make it vertical here. And I'll make it smaller than the wall. Okay, now what I'm going to do is create a line from one corner to the other and from one corner of the image to the other, and then I'll move the image from the midpoint to the midpoint. So move, select the image, yes, press enter, make sure that midpoint is selected. Down here my object snaps, snap to the midpoint, and snap to the other midpoint. Okay, now you can see that it appears to be slightly inboard of the plane, and so one thing that you can do would be to make a window around that plane somewhere. There it is, and I'll just move it like, I don't know, 2 inches outside of the plane. Okay, so there's a couple of options. So in other words, you don't have to make the mural fit the entire width of and height of the plane that you're working with. It could sort of float on the wall if that's your preference.